Hello everyone and welcome to episode 11 of my Night Elf Hunter Let's Play series in the Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary Edition, where today we are going to do a lot of running and just a lot of exploring, I think, with a little bit of questing here and there, where there are a couple of zones in Kalimdor that are about our level and also a little higher level than us and a little lower level than us that have a few interesting things for us to check out. One of which is the Barrens, and the other is the Stonetalon Mountains. So I thought today would be a good opportunity to just run around and explore those two zones. Which those two zones are primarily horde areas, where as we go into the Barrens in particular, we need to be very careful about any threats that could potentially endanger us. And we need to be able to navigate around those threats, mostly with horde guards. And into the Stonetalon Mountains, it's going to be a little bit safer for us. In the Barrens, there is a neutral city known as Ratchet, where Horde and Alliance can quest out of, but typically only Horde quest out of there. And then in the Stonetalon Mountains, there are both Horde and Alliance areas. But as far as like the number of quests in the Stonetalon Mountains goes, there are more Horde quests than there are Alliance quests, but there's still some stuff for us to deal with. So I thought today would be a good episode to just deal with some of that stuff, explore some of that stuff before we return to Ashnavale and before we start looking at areas like the Eastern Kingdoms. Where Stonetalon Mountains is probably going to be an area we spend more time in, where in the Barrens we can look at our map right now, where there are a few quests around here, but most of them are lower level than we currently are, but there are a couple quests that send us into Stonetalon Mountains, plus getting at the flight path for Ratchet is going to be invaluable for us. And then looking at Ashenvale, in particular, we do have a fair number of things to do all around this zone, but I'm going to go ahead and ignore most of that stuff for now. But there's also a quest chain in Ashenvale towards level 30. A little sneak peek is that there is a quest chain that's going to actually take us to Ratchet eventually. And there's also another quest after the Elemental Bracers, I think, that's going to take us into the Barrens. So we will be returning to the Barrens a couple of times into the future, just for a couple of things in Ashenvale. But that's for the future. And you can see, as we head further east into Ashenvale, there's just more and more stuff all around here for us to be able to enjoy looking at, where it looks pretty similar to the rest of Ashenvale that we have seen. And we're about over halfway through the zone now that we are at Rainwood Retreat, where we can head north into Fellwood, where when it comes to questing in Kalimdor, we're going to have a fair amount of stuff in Ashenvale and in the Stonetalon Mountains, but then I think after all of that, we're going to be looking at some stuff in Desolist and Dustwallow Marsh, into the Thousand Needles, and eventually further into our questing experience, we'll go to Feralus, and we'll go to Tanaris and Fellwood, and eventually into the Ungoro Crater, and into Winterspring, and into Celithus, plus some other stuff in the Eastern Kingdoms as well, before we eventually reach level 58 to level 60 is the range you would want to go to Outland, where level 60 is the maximum level cap in vanilla World of Warcraft, and with the Burning Crusade it's raised to level 70, and since it is raised to level 70, you can continue questing in the old world of Azeroth, where you can just level up to maybe like level 64 technically, or 65 if you keep killing level 60 mobs, but that is not optimal at all. Typically you would want to go to Outland and quest there, where many people will start Outland at level 60 when the Burning Crusade originally drops, because they'll have level 60 characters from playing through vanilla. But I think the recommended level is like level 59 if you are going there before level 60. But oftentimes people will go there starting on level 58, which is something that I'll often do, and that is a long ways away for us. And we'll decide when exactly we do want to go to Outland. It's kind of a similar idea when the Wrath Lich King rolls around, where you can go to Northrend starting at level 68, though typically being level 69 or 70 will give you a better start in Northrend. We are now approaching the Barrens, and we have a massive horde encampment located right here on the road, guarding the road, with very high level horde guards that will kill us. So we are going to do an old reliable trick, and we're going to go around where there's a very conveniently placed broken rampart right here that is intentionally designed to let Alliance players into the Barrens. And there's a blood elf priest right there running around this side of it. We can see the question mark Barrens guards over there. And there's also the horde entrance to Warsong Gulch located here as well that we are going to completely ignore. But there are also some friendly goblins near us that we could interact with in the future if we did some of those quests. But mostly, I'll probably want to stay off of the road for the most part, because if we were to follow the road exactly, we would be going across an orcish watchtower that has a few guards, and then this road leads into the crossroads, which is a very prominent location for the horde, where it is a major questing hub intended for the Taurens, orcs, and trolls all together from about level 10 to level 20, but also features some stuff that undead would naturally come to as well, plus many undead would go there anyways. I remember on one of my characters, a Night Elf Warrior that I was leveling, I intentionally came to the Barrens to quest here, just because I wanted that little bit of an experience, where I did most of the quests in Ratchet, I think. You can see that watchtower up ahead. I also have a very long sword over there. We also have a ton of beasts around here that we could look at taming if we wanted, but I think we'll stick with Basil for now. I saw one particular beast in Outland that I'm kind of interested in trying to get sometime, once we get to that point. We have a little farm over there that has some orcish guards that we need to be careful of, and then this is the watchtower that I was talking about earlier. I want to give a wide berth to that. Could cut diagonally this way because we want to start going towards the Ratchet, or towards Ratchet rather, on the coast. But we can see the crossroads located over there. The massive inn and a ton of other buildings around there. It is truly a very large orcish and Tauren stronghold primarily. You have like some orc buildings, but then you have Tauren defenses and a few Tauren huts too. It's a nice combination of those two races together. Plus it features some trolls and undead located inside. You can see a level 11 troll here, just questing with a blood elf. I love questing in the Barrens and in all the Horde zones and in all the Alliance zones. I just love questing in World of Warcraft in general. It's really like the main thing I enjoy doing. And then a little bit of achievement hunting here and there. Here's Lazaric, the weapons dealer.
Money, friend. Potential customer.
You can see if there's maybe something we'd want. Some healing potions and a mana potion. I'm going to ignore all of that. But by talking to that NPC, we are now neutral with Ratchet. Can earn reputation with them and the other goblin towns within the Steamweedle cartel, one of 4 major goblin cartels on Azeroth. we can kind of just see the difference between the Barrens and all the other zones that we've been in, where each zone is very, very unique. A couple of zones are similar to other zones in some ways, but the Barrens is incredibly distinct from the purple of Ashenvale and the gray of Darkshore and the green of Teldrassil. You can see a boat coming into the harbor Ratchet that would take us to Booty Bay, another incredibly important goblin town within the Steamweedle cartel, located at the tip of the Cape of Stranglethorn. Maybe one of my favorite locations in all World of Warcraft, and many other people's as well. But that is for another adventure, where we are here in Ratchet, and we have a couple of quests that we can go ahead and pick up. Alright, let's go ahead, pick up Deep Moss Spider Eggs, because that's going to take us to Stonetalon Mountains. And then we also have Ziz Physics, located Sputter Valve, I think it's over here. Yeah, and we also have the flight path to get. So Ziz Physics is a quest in Stonetalon Mountain, and our flight master here. And now we can fly back to Ashtanar if we really wanted. But let's sneak over this way really quickly, just to take a look at a very interesting detail of Ratchet that is relevant to the Burning Crusade, because there are a bunch of high elves introduced in vanilla World of Warcraft, but in vanilla World of Warcraft they used the Night Elf models, but when they added the Blood Elf models in the Burning Crusade, they took all of the high elves across the world and gave them the Blood Elf model, but with blue eyes, like what high elves would have.
What brings you here?
Including this quest giver here, who is actually somewhat friendly towards the Horde, because there is an Alliance outpost located here that took one of his friends prisoner, so Horde players can raid that outpost and free the high elf prisoner. But now that we picked up these two quests, we can go towards Stonetalon Mountains, where we can get Deep Moss Spider Eggs, can talk to Kayla Shadow Spear and Ziz Physics, and then we can continue up towards Stonetalon Peak, where there's a flight path there. So I think we can just spend some time doing all the quests around there, but first things first is we have to make our way to Stonetalon Mountains. So we just ran through a good chunk of the Barrens, and we've unlocked the flight path in Ratchet, so we basically don't really have to run here again if we don't want. We could just fly over there. But now we have to run back across the Barrens, going towards another location. You can see we have the entrance to Ashenvale here, and then we have the entrance to Stonetalon Mountains located on the western side. We also have an entrance into Durotar, the Orc Control starting area, and an entrance into Mulgore, the Tauren starting area. Then we got an entrance into Dustwallow Marsh, which is going to be a major location we spend a ton of time questing in, and an entrance into Thousand Needles, which will also be a location we spend a ton of time questing in. So, the Barrens really leads to a ton of different areas on Kalimdor, partially because it is such a massive zone. And the Crossroads, the major Horde town, is basically in the center of all of that, where the Crossroads leads to Ratchet, to Ashenvale, down towards the Southern Barrens, and then over west into the Stonetalon Mountains. Unfortunately for us, since it is a Horde town, we are going to give it a wide berth. You can also see so many Horde players around here too. We might have seen one, but I haven't seen any Alliance specifically yet. We could maybe try to sneak up towards the Crossroads really quickly at a location that's far away from the guards, just so we can uncover it on the map, because I think that would be nice to have. I don't think there's really any guards here, right? Oh, I'm dead. I'm so dead. I'm dead. I'm actually dead. Maybe I'm not dead. But we will not be unlocking the Crossroads just yet. Okay, my aspect of the cheetah is actually really good here, and I'm not dead. Okay. So we are not uncovering that on the map. I think maybe the southeastern side would have been better. There are a few more horde along the way towards Stonetalon Mountains, including the main entrance into the mountains. But luckily, there is a side entrance just like into Ashenvale that we can go ahead and utilize to get in. Here we have another little horde encampment that I don't think is super dangerous for us, but we should still avoid going too close to it. There's like one quest NPC that's level 28. If we attack the quest NPC, I think high level guards would spawn. And then there's also like a peon over there, and that's a very important location for horde questing. And up on the horizon, we can see this major orcish tower that's guarding the road. And I forget if we want to go this way or if we should go around the mountain first. But we want to try to navigate around it. We're a decently high level for this specific area. These level 15 enemies are great to us. But I think going around the mountain here was the right choice. But maybe we want to go further east even. You can see there's just a lot of defenses right there. And if we got a little bit closer, we would see a ton of guards showing up. I think we need to go around this mountain in order to get safe access into Stonetalon. There's another tower here with a banner, but this one is burnt. And all of the guards here are gone. At honor's stand. Go ahead and skin this raptor, why not? We got a point in skinning plus some medium leather. We've seen a lot of earth root along our journey. There's another raptor here. Somebody just came through this location. A ton of plain striders there. And we'll see around the left side of this mountain is that original tower with a bunch of guards that we will have safely navigated past now. But we can continue straight ahead into Stonetalon Mountains, where there's going to be another horde camp up here that just has a couple of quest NPCs. So we're going to avoid them, but they shouldn't be too much of an issue for us. It's a really cool site there. Ahead of us is a really cool site as well. Where the introductory areas of Stonetalon here are decently low level, and it's not until we get towards where our quests are that we're going to have some higher level opponents. Stonetalon Mountains is kind of like a supplemental questing area, I feel like, where there's not a ton of content, and most of the time Alliance players will spend most of their time in Ashenvale and come to Stonetalon for a little bit, and then Horde players will spend most of their time in the Barrens and also in Ashenvale, but will come to Stonetalon for a little bit. You have a level 14 Tauren there, a Grim Totem Ruffian, a tribe that is mostly hostile towards the other Tauren tribes. You can see what looks like another Tauren camp here in the middle of the roads, but it's very destroyed. Just a couple of Grim Totem sitting here. This is an important spot for an escort quest that the Horde do. But mostly for us, safe passage But we will soon be coming across a bunch of spiders that we can go ahead and deal with. And then we'll also be looking for some of the pride wings. You can see that escort happening there. We actually have a troll camp located near here that has some horde quest givers. A nice road sign. I think the first thing we can do is maybe just go for the deep moss eggs, where we can spend quite a bit of time up here doing that quest as well. So maybe we can exhaust this area and then continue into the Windshear Crag. There is an entrance into the Stonetalon Mountains from Ashenvale that we should probably go check out sometime, just to experience it. And we're going to have to start being a little bit more careful now. Through the Barrens is pretty safe as far as enemies go, but the enemies around here are going to be more of our level. I think these spiders are still going to be pretty low compared to us. This one's 5 levels lower than us. There's also a wanted quest up in this area for horde players only. Switch our aspect out. And this journey into here, where there might be lots of players actually. So there might be some competition for the eggs, since most horde players will have been to Ratchet and will have picked up that quest. Let's see, one Torn Druid over there. It looks like they are doing the egg quest. They fight hatchlings. Clear out this area a little bit. There's Bacilla, but there's like almost no eggs around here. The troll's on one. Let's run down this way. Most of the spiders are cleared out, but there are some eggs right here for us. Can take this one. Which I guess that person was doing as well. Let's navigate around this way. Let's try to cut through these spiders, because I see this egg spawned right here. Four from that one. Some hatchlings we can really fight. Go around this way, attack this spider here. Get ready to grab this egg. Looks like more eggs over there, but I think that person is doing this quest. They're not doing it right now. Oh, there they go. Oh wait, they're eating, never mind. But we need 5 more eggs. Come grab this one. This might spawn hatchlings and we're gonna have a lot of enemies to deal with. Only one, looks like. Well, we have 12, so we could maybe head to the Windshear Crag if we don't see any more right in this immediate area. I think it's a good opportunity to sneak out of here now. Got a good start on the quest. Oh, the spiders are respawning behind us. Fight our way out a little bit. I don't think there's any more egg sacs right at the entrance here. Now I think we can go chat with the Alliance quest giver located here. And then we have the neutral ratchet one we can chat with as well. Get stuck on the sign, of course. And right around here we have a gnome friend and a night elf friend. Let's turn in the On Guard and Stonetalon, and then we can chat with our gnome friend and link the quest, and then we can go kill some Venture Cove, which is going to be in this area. So let's sneak down this way. We have this goblin hut located here. Inside is going to be our quest giver, and then we want to be on the lookout for some of the spider eggs around here. And we can also look at doing this quest. We need to get these blueprints from the goblins around here. There's some deep moss eggs for us. There's also some pride wings that we can be on the lookout for too. But that completes our deep moss egg quest, which is great. Sneak this way. We also need to feed our pets. Some more eggs there if we didn't finish the quest. Now let's just start fighting these Venture Cove. There's an operator there that person just killed. But we need to kill a bunch of the lower level ones here. Let's drink some water while we're at it. Can send in Basil to attack the logger, but before she grabs aggro, can start drinking water so we can regenerate our mana while Basil kills this one. And then we can help out at the end. There's an operator over there for us. So we could try to tag this one just to get this quest out of the way. There's also a deforester. Let's grab aggro, run back a little bit. And then the deforester should be nice to kill soon too, because we still need a bunch more of them. Here's our blueprints. Could see go about turning in that quest, but maybe we could just finish this one. But we're gonna have to return back to this area soon. I think after the blueprints quest. I don't think a gnome's respite will lead to another quest directly. In this area specifically. I do know it's the start of a chain. Drink some water. Wow. We're low on mana. There's a ton of deforesters here, but there's a ton of enemies in general. A little dangerous. Grab that. Run back this way. I'm surprised that other deforester did not join. A nice resist for us. Let's try to kill these two. Then with that, I think we can go ahead and head back towards the quest givers over here. A few loggers here that we can deal with on our way back. Get a little bit extra experience and some gold as well. quest giver, or a quest NPC over there, not a quest giver. On our way back to the actual quest giver, we have a pride wing that we can deal with. I think the venom sacs is specifically only for Alliance, but there's a quest over here for the Horde amongst the pride wings. The venom sac quest might be one that takes quite some time to complete. Ignore the thunder lizard there. Another pride wing way over there. Let's chat with Ziz Physics.
What's up?
Turn this
Have a
in.
good one.
And then we need to go back to Sputter Valve. So let's head up this way. Try to tag this pride wing along the way. There's only a few of them in this area. But we can turn in our other quest as well. Unfortunately, no venom sacs. And I don't see another one up here. A little bit of a lag spike, which is funny. But I think our only quest currently is the venom sacs plus the ones to turn in. Let's turn in this one and see what the next quest is. Because I think it's off to 2 different areas.
My, you're a tall one.
An Old Colleague in Ironforge, and then one in Stormwind. Both of which are going to take us to the Eastern Kingdoms, so we can go do those quests in the future once we take an expedition to the Eastern Kingdoms. Which might be what we do next episode. But maybe we should spend some time in Ashenvale. Maybe it's good to go to the Eastern Kingdom so we're higher level for the quests we currently have in Ashenvale. So then we can spend a lot of uninterrupted time in Ashenvale. That might be a good bet. So really our next destination is going to be Stonetalon Peak. But along our journeys there, let's spend quite a bit of time trying to get all of these venom sacs. I think all the quests in Stonetalon Peaks are like very high level, like getting close to level 30 quests. I think one is like level 27. So really, those quests around there are going to be for a while from now. This one I'm skipping, but then we have the ones to turn in Ratchets and the ones we just got to go to the Eastern Kingdoms. That might bring us back to some lower level quests that we'll do next time we're in the Stonetalon Mountains. This quest will be a little nice for us when it comes to skinning. Get some points, and looks like we're also getting light leather, so maybe we'll be able to level up our leatherworking after all, since we're still getting a ton of that. But we're also getting some medium leather from as well. There's our first venom sac. It might be nice to get to level 24 by the time we get to Ironforge, because then we could just train while we're in Ironforge or in Stormwind. Actually, yeah, there are hunter trainers in Stormwind, where we'll get decently far into level 23, but then as we head to the Eastern Kingdoms, we could probably spend quite a bit of time in the first zone that we would get to, from Aberdeen into Minotha Harbor, located in the wetlands. We're third in with this quest already. We were a little unlucky with the Wyverns in Windshare Crag. These ones are a little better for us. They are a higher level, which means we're getting more experience from them as well. I guess our big bet for this moment in the episode is what's going to come first, our level up or the full collection for this quest. We need 8 more Venom Sacks, a fair bit more experience. We need 7 more Venom Sacks now. My guess is that we will level up before we get 7 more Venom Sacks. But it might be really close actually. It might be a good line. Okay, maybe it's a bad line. We're at 6 out of 12, which I don't mind getting the Venom Sacks quickly. But I did lock in the answer that we'll level up first. So I'll stick to that, even though I'm starting to doubt it immediately after. Need about 2 bars now. We're at 90%. Five more Venom Sacks. Let's drink up. They're kind of spawning pretty quickly in this specific spot, but there are quite a few over there and down here too, and a little bit over there. We don't have much downtime between fighting each wyvern, which is great for us. Especially as a hunter, which I think might be one of the classes that has like the smallest amount of downtime between fighting in general. If you play a spellcaster, you have to drink a lot of water. And if you're playing a character like a warrior or a rogue, you're often low on health and have to heal up. Three more for us now. We've had very, very good drops up to this point. We're at almost a bar and a half to go. starting to run a tiny bit low on arrows. We used up half of the ones we've had. Still a lot left to use them. I forgot about this Horn of Awakening on my skill bar. I can get that off. Now the drops have slowed down a little bit, so maybe for the people who guessed level up first, might be re-entering the chance to win that. And I say that and I get a Venom Sac, which is by no means a bad thing. Maybe this entire thing is just a plot to get the Venom Sacs to drop. This is good mind games on my part thus far. But maybe as I say that they won't drop, but there we go. We need one more now. So we need to get 5% more of our level and experience, one more bar, before we get another Venom Sac to drop, which could potentially happen. But it's looking like we're going to finish getting everything we need for the quest before we level up. And there we go. So we got 96% of our level. I think it might be worthwhile to kill a few things on the way up the mountain, the peak. Just to get a little bit more experience. Let's go into aspect of the cheetah, and then let's naturally regenerate to full mana. And as we get to full mana, go ahead and kill a few things and then continue forward. Here's a good spot to grab this. We have a Draenei mage here. That area over there is really good for this quest. I wonder if that mage had an impact on like them respawning so quickly. Oh, a rare. Okay, let's drink up real quick. That mage is gone. Back over there. Let's try to get our mana. And then let's go ahead and come try to fight. Oh no. Oh wait. I see that blood elf just attacked the patriarch, but is immediately running away. So let's sit here for just a second. And then let's go ahead and try to fight this patriarch. So. See what we get. Just a cloak. And then we can continue this way. I actually had to log out for a minute, but we are back. And let's go ahead and continue up Stonetalon Peak, doing basically what I said. Where let's go ahead and let our mana regenerate for a moment as we get really close to level 23. And I keep pressing random keys. We can check this 5 agility and more armor. I think this is going to be better than what we currently have equipped. Also check my talents really quickly. And I have 1 talent point to spend to increase our pet's damage by a bit. And I could stay in aspect of the cheetah, so we're gonna have to swap aspects. We look so much cooler now with this new cloak. Use up the tiny bit of rested experience I just got. But it's really cool to be heading up one of the peaks of Kalimdor, where there's like Stonetalon Peak located here, and then there's Mount Hydro, which you can't explore until the Cataclysm expansion. But it's still a major peak in Kalimdor that you can see from many different zones, starting in vanilla. I think this is a quest that is important, or these coursers are important for a quest from the Troll Village. So sometimes you'll see Horde players fighting these coursers, but for us they're a nice source of experience and some leather. This courser's coming for me, but since I have aspect of the cheetah, it does make kiting that much easier, which is something nice to think about. But if you ever get hit, it'll make kiting that much harder. Kind of a high risk, high reward idea, I suppose. And as we discover Stonetalon Peak, we are now level 23. And we have another talent point, so I can just put that back in there. And then after the next level, we will have maxed this one out. I'll probably want to go for Ferocity next. I don't think improved Amend Pet is all that worthwhile. Could put 2 more points in improved aspect of the Hawk as well if we really wanted. But I think Ferocity is going to be our best bet. And we can look at some of these other options as well. But there's some Alliance NPCs here that play a part in the Horde questing experience, where Horde players can come and fight these NPCs. But we have an Alliance town here in Stonetalon Peak, including a flight path that Horde players will not be fighting for their quests. And this is basically our main Alliance town, a little bit smaller than the Horde towns here. But here we have a level 27 quest that I'm just going to leave there for now. And we have now unlocked this flight path, and I think that's really kind of everything I wanted to do. So let's go to Ratchet. We're gonna fly into Ashtanar on our journey there. So I was kind of hoping we would fly like through Stonetalon Mountains, but I guess that's not how it's gonna work out for us. Where my dog is running around, we can see around here should be some fun decorations to look at only while on a flight path. We have some Night Elf ruins here. I think there's a little camping area. Yes, a troll hut there, amongst some more Night Elf ruins. Plus what looks like one more modern Night Elf structure that also seems a little abandoned. But we enter the Zoram Strand here, so along the coast from Ashenvale, this is still considered the Zoram Strand. And then as we continue to fly along, we'll see the beach that we are familiar with because we fought a ton of Naga there last episode. And then we'll see we can just enjoy the flight path. to Ratchet Reland, where we have a couple of quests to turn in,
Hey, how you
including
doing?
this one, further instructions. That's going
Have
to
a
take
good
us
one.
back to
Keep it
Ziz
real.
Physics,
Have a good one.
which we will do some other time. And then we can turn in the deep moss spider eggs here.
Yo. Keep it
I
real.
don't think there's another quest after that one, but he does have different quests we could do. And then in Ashen Vale, we have one quest to turn in. And then we have a couple of quests taking us to the Eastern Kingdoms, which we can look at doing in the future. But for now, we can go turn in this quest. Go ahead and put on Aspect of the Cheetah, call Basil. And we should also look at cleaning out our inventory really quickly. Here is Shindra.
What brings you here?
And she's going to have another quest for us in the future, but that is all for now. I think there's like a quest from her to go into 1,000 Needles, maybe. It was originally from a different character in the classic version of the game. Let's sell all of this. And probably all that. And I think everything here is good. We can get rid of the deep moss egg. And then we need a general goods vendor, which might be located in the main building over here. Well, I guess to some extent the inn is the main building because you probably spend most of your time in there, with the quest givers located in there, as well as it being at the inn. So general goods right here. Let's see what arrows we can buy. Sharp arrows, and once we reach level 25 we can get razor arrows. But I'm just going to buy all that for now. Continue with our sharp arrows. And I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here, where we did a lot of stuff in the Barrens and in the Stonetalon Mountains. And I really hope you all enjoyed watching, and I also hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember, as always, to drink water and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time in the World of Azeroth. Goodbye.